Republicans don't see the red tsunami that we were all expecting. Governor Ron DeSantis has an explosive victory in Florida, and a judge denies extending voting hours in Maricopa County after 20 plus voting centers have malfunctions. All of that and more here on the Bald Brad Show. Welcome to the Bald Brad Show. It is Wednesday, November 9th, and as always, support the show by hitting that like and subscribe button, as well as leaving your opinions in the comment section below regarding anything that we cover in today's episode. Your help and support would be greatly appreciated. And with that being said, our lead story of the day is regarding the red tsunami that we were all expecting as Republicans and conservatives, just not happening. Folks, it was not a great night for Republicans. Was there some good that came out of it? Yes, like Ron DeSantis, Greg Abbott, kind of the shoo-ins that we expected. But if you look on the map here, it just wasn't the red wave. This is not glowing red for governors. It's glowing red for the House. But look, that's what we expected. But here's the thing. We weren't picking up the House seats like we all thought we would. We thought the House was going to be a blowout. We're only gained of 2 seats right now. So we're looking at 2 to 3 seats as of the recording of this episode. Things are going to change, and theoretically, could things drastically change? Yes, but that's not what my expectation is. Again, this was not as big of a night as we thought it would be and what the polls were showing. If you look at the Senate here, 45-45, but if you look down here, Blake Masters at 40%, Mark Kelly basically at 58%. That is not what we were looking for out of Arizona, folks. Colorado, that was what we expected. Even Utah, for Mike Lee, is even kind of close. And that should still go red. But if you're looking around, folks, again, Georgia, Ralph Warnock, Herschel Walker, basically 59-59. And we're probably expecting 50-50 maybe. You're talking 1,500 votes, 2,000 votes differential in Georgia. And you hear Georgia coming out going, oh, well, there's voter suppression. People can't get to the polls. I mean, they literally have a massive turnout in Georgia. So I don't know what Democrats are talking about. But the House is really, yeah, we're favored there. But what I really want to zoom in here is on Arizona with Kari Lake and Katie Hobbs. Granted, we only have basically 50% of the voting coming in. And we do expect Kari Lake, as of the recording of this, to take the lead. But as of right now, even that's not looking good. So we kind of expected even numbers early on to be a little bit different for a red tsunami. And it got to get you thinking, folks. Democrats must love what's going on. If you look at even the localities to the state level, to the federal government level, to continually vote for the same person. Hell, in California, Gavin Newsom won the vast swath of the majority of the votes. We have the highest homeless population. We have the highest taxes. We basically have the highest freaking gas. We pay up the wazoo for consumer goods here. You have crime just through the roof. And people continually vote for the same stuff. Explain to me in the comment section below why, for the love of God, would you continually vote for the same thing knowing that you're going to get the same outcome? The only thing that makes sense to me is you literally just like crime, that you like transing kids, that you like CRT being taught in the school systems, that you like teaching identity indoctrination within children. That's the only thing that makes sense, because Democrats suck right now. They aren't doing a good job of running things. So why would you vote for them? What do you have to lose? That's my question. What do you have to lose by voting for a Republican? Knowing that we don't like crime, knowing that we don't want to trans your kids, knowing that we just want you to have a good education without critical race theory, that teaching everything is racism, teaching everything's based on your skin color, all this stuff, I don't understand it. We want to clean up the homeless problem. We want to lower taxes. We want more money in your pocket. We don't want this 8.2% inflation. We don't want CPI to go up. We want to increase domestic oil production so gas prices are cheaper for all of you. So why do Democrats keep voting this way? It is asinine. At least take a gamble. Do you know what I mean? You already know what you're going to get with Gavin Newsom. You already know what you're going to get with these other people that you keep voting for, because hell, you've been voting for them for a freaking decade or more. So why would you not just take a shot from the dark, give it a few years, see what happens? If you don't like it, then go back to voting Democrat. But why, for the love of God, do they do this? I mean, it's all across. It's all across. Am I pissed? Yeah. Am I frustrated? Absolutely. Am I disappointed? 100%. Because if you just look around and see what's going on with everything, you would think that more people wouldn't just vote along party lines. If there was a Republican that was doing crap job, I am not voting for that guy. If there's a Republican that was doing a crap job and there's a guy that's a Democrat that's coming and going, hey, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to fix all the problems that this guy was doing. Say there was a Republican that wasn't being harsh on crime. Say there was a Republican that was increasing taxes. I know it doesn't make sense, but just go along with it. Then if there was a Democrat that was like, hey, I'm going to lower taxes or I want to be harsh on crime, I'll vote for that Democrat. I don't care. He goes with my values. And if this knucklehead wants to suck at his job, then I need to send a message going, hey, fix the problem or else you're going to be gone. But you got Americans that are going, oh, well, hey, I love crime. I love that people doing the fentanyl crawl. I love that there's syringes and needles all in the streets. I love that there's poop apps in California. I love that I have to sit there and track all the homeless problems that are going on in LA County, Orange County, and all swaths of Democrat-ran cities. I got to watch people do smash and grabs in Walgreens, Baskin-Robbins, and complain that they deserve lip balm and freaking deodorant because of racism out there, but they need to feed their children, which is why they're taking those things. No, I have to deal with all of that because you have these knuckleheads that continue to vote for the Democrat Party that can't wrap it around their head as to why things aren't working out. But they're still willing to do this. They're still willing to do this, folks. And I know it has to drive you all nuts. I know it does. I mean, if there's one good thing out of it, hell, if you look at Florida, if we had to get one good thing out of the night, I mean, look at Florida, folks. Florida was shellacked, or in other words, Charlie Crist was shellacked by Ron DeSantis. That's the good news. That's the good news of it all. And that flows us into our second story of the day. We need a little bit of uppers here, folks, because last night, quite frankly, was a little bit of a downer. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis responded powerfully to his blowout victory on Tuesday night. I mean, blowout's not even a good term. I mean, he just obliterated this guy. Night's midterm election declaring that Florida is where wokeness goes to die. But everywhere else around the country, just people love it, clearly. People love the wokeness. They love trans and kids. They love removing the breasts, the genitals, castrating children, all for it. They're all for abortion. They're all for crime. They're all for homelessness. They're all for sanctuary cities. They're all for invasion of illegal immigrants into those inner cities where they're getting recreational centers of plasma TVs, Xboxes, 3 meals a day, revolving menu, laundry services. No, they're all for that stuff. That's what they're for, you guys. Well, the remarks from DeSantis, who is widely considered a top 2024 presidential contender, comes after he easily won re-election with a 19-point victory over Democrat challenger. That is remarkable compared to where he was just at in 2018. DeSantis was up by more than 1.5 million votes, with 90% of the votes counted. This is a historic gain over his roughly 30,000 vote win against Democrat Andrew Gillum in 2018. I mean, you are talking a massive flip in terms of voting going out for DeSantis, which is awesome. And, partially it has to do with the culture that DeSantis has created. You have other Republicans flocking from places like California and Texas into Florida. To give you perspective, California Republicans are more Republican than the actual Republicans that grew up in Texas. Hardcore Republicans. I'm a Republican. So where we're going, we're fleeing this city and we're going all to Florida and Tennessee. DeSantis' victory in the state was so dominant that he was up by double digits in 60 of Florida's 67 counties. There was a news station that literally went to, I think, like 3 counties and could not find a single person that voted for Ron DeSantis' challenger. Like they put in a valiant effort and couldn't find it. Quote, "We have embraced freedom," DeSantis declared to a massive crowd. "We have maintained law and order. We have protected the rights of parents. We have respected our taxpayers, and we reject woke ideology." God, if you want freedom, folks, go to Florida. If you're in California, hell, if you're anywhere here, that's blue. If you're anywhere here, that's blue. Like California, Pennsylvania. I mean, look at him. Douglas Master just completely shellacked. I mean, granted, 85%, roughly 82% voting's in, but it still ain't looking good. Not the red wave, like I keep mentioning, that we're expecting. I mean, Gretchen Whitmer. Are you kidding me? Gretchen Whitmer. It's just, last night was not a good night, folks. It was. Don't get me going. I'm trying to keep it calm for you. It's a morning time. This isn't the news you want to wake up to hear, folks, from all this. But like I said, it was not the tsunami we were expecting. It makes you wonder, how bad do things have to be? How bad do the Democrat Party have to just run this country into the ground for people to vote red? That's my question. We fight the woke in the legislature. We fight the woke in the schools. We fight the woke in the corporations. We will never, ever surrender to the woke mob. Florida is where woke goes to die. Damn right, Ron. Damn right. At least we have somebody that's sane here in politics in America somewhat. Now, while our country flounders due to failed leadership in Washington, Florida is on the right track. I believe the survival of the American experiment requires a revival of true American principles. Florida has proved that it can be done. We offer a ray of hope that better days still lie ahead. I am proud of our achievements in this state. I'm honored by your support, and I look forward to the road ahead. Phenomenal speech. Crushed the guy because of what's going on in Florida, and that's what Americans want. It's not just Americans. It's Cubans, Venezuelans, Latinos. And you see that same kind of Latino vote also being shown in Texas as well. So it's not just like an outlier for Florida. We're seeing that flow into other states as well in terms of their voting. And we have an increase in the Latino vote as well as the black vote. So we are gaining ground here. It's not all negative. It just wasn't what we expected. And when you set your expectations so high, like we all did, you kind of are then thrown, really low. Big tree fall hard. And we talked about this on the Bald Brad show where we said, hey, originally the poll said huge red tsunami many, many months ago. We talked about this the other week. And then the poll said, hey, honestly, it's not going to be as big as a red wave of what we were expecting. And that's kind of what we're seeing now is more of that middle poll. And then just a couple weeks ago, about a week and a half or 2 weeks ago, we're seeing massive red tsunami again. Polls are just almost exaggerated this red wave. So it's more like what we would have saw a few months ago where we'll gain a couple seats in the House. We might get the Senate back. That's more inclined what we're seeing now in this morning. But hey, you got Ron DeSantis, who deserves a huge win. It shows you how red Florida is. Hell, folks, get out of those states that are blue and go to Florida. It's like the last place of freedom. Also, speaking of elections, craziness, just head spinning, we have Maricopa County, and this was mainstream news last night. This was probably the biggest news of the entire night. Well, a judge ruled against extending voting hours Tuesday in Maricopa County, which is in Arizona, after officials held an emergency hearing following, are you sitting down, 60 different voting centers experiencing ballot printing issues, according to local media. As if you didn't know midterms were coming up, that you would have checked these devices, right? Fairest and free election ever, folks. Fairest free election. If the officials were to pass the motion, polls in Arizona would be open until 10 p.m., while suspending any tabulated early ballot returns from public release in Maricopa County until 11 p.m. The move comes after top Republican lawmakers filed a motion to extend poll hours in the Arizona county because voting machines in over 25% of voting locations have experienced printer issues, which resulted in tabulation machines malfunctioning. 25%? Anybody else think that's a pretty big number? And look, it wouldn't just be Republicans that would capitalize on getting their votes counted. Democrats would too. Find it a little odd that this guy wouldn't extend it. I'm not saying there's anything suspicious about it, but damn, voting machines in over 25% of the voting locations are malfunctioning? The widespread issues in an election administered by Democrat Secretary of State Katie Hobbs are completely unacceptable, especially as Republicans flock to the polls to vote in person on Election Day. Make a great point. Republicans are known to go down there to the polls, be in person. They actually want to feel utilizing their right to vote, not just checking a box on a piece of mail, licking it, and sending it away. They want to get down there. They're the ones that get screwed. We have dozens of attorneys and thousands of volunteers working to solve this issue and ensure that Arizona voters have the chance to make their voices heard. I personally think it should have been extended because it's again, it's not just about Republicans. Democrats need to get their votes in too. Everybody should have the right to vote. And if you got a screwed up system, then go freeform. Go freehand with it. Start sealing up those bad boys. Whatever you need to do. People have the right to vote, folks. Democrat, Republican, Independent, don't matter. Maricopa County Recorder Stephen Richer said on Twitter that officials dismissed the lawsuit. Quote, "We're not responsible for election day or tabulation," Richer wrote. Oh, just lovely. Garrett Archer, a data and political analyst at ABC 15, said Republican attorneys told the judge they would challenge the fight over the conditional provisional ballots voted by individuals who checked in at a vote center and subsequently left because of tabulation issues. What a cluster, you know what. Arizona Republican Party chairwoman Kelly Ward first reported the issues were occurring at several polling places in Maricopa County. Local media confirmed shortly after that at least one tabulation machine was having an issue. I think it was upwards of like 20% machines were having issues or something like that. Later in the morning, local outlets and county officials reported that as many as 1 in 5, 20%, polling places were having problems. Republican Arizona gubernatorial candidate Kari Lake, who's down right now as far as the recording of this, tweeted out guidance to voters, urging them to follow the suggestions of county officials. Go somewhere else, folks. Go somewhere else where it works. Because they had no idea that elections were coming up. They had no idea that this would happen. There's always something. There is always something. We can never just have things go right. I don't know what the hell it is. As if you couldn't vote old school by, again, just checking the box and turning it in. Why are we dealing with these machines all the time? Why? I mean, it's every election. Every election, something happens. And look, folks, I know it's morning. As of the recording of this, because I'm recording this very late at night, things could change when we all wake up. Realistically, it's not going to really change that much in terms of how many seats we gain in the House. And if we take over the Senate, if we do, you're talking a couple over. It's not going to be, again, the tsunami that we all expected. It's a punch in the gut. It's a reality check. And you know what? We got to continue to move forward, folks. We shouldn't lose or waver in terms of what just took place. We got to continue to do and spread conservative Republican values to America. And that's why it's so important to like and subscribe these videos. I will continue to do my job. I will try to even do it a little bit better each and every year that we continue the Bald Brad Show, so we can gain more people, have a better community of conservatives and Republicans, and continue to expand here and hopefully gain even more people to come from the Democrat Party to the Republican Party and open their eyes and awaken them to what's going on with the Democrat Party, what's going on with their platform, what's going on with their messaging, and how they are driving this country into the ground, folks. As always, thank you so much for supporting the Bald Brad Show. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. I'll see you tomorrow here on the Bald Brad Show.